just a little bit, although I suppose that could be a little bit better. Just until a second ago, I had a co-caster with me, which was my cat. Lottie was up on my desk, standing in the way. That's why preparations took so long. I couldn't actually see around her on the desk. So, oh well, it's a good thing, a good problem to have. Now, our first match today is going to be a very important one here in round 4. It's the final games. Well, there's 2 more games after this, but it's the final week of played games, which is obviously a very important moment, especially for both of these teams, because it's going to decide who is going to come out of the group in first. So let's actually have a look at the group rankings. You see that iRk and NaS are both tied on 5-0. Now, both of them cannot lose enough games to knock themselves out of the playoffs. So even if NetWars and White Clan win, NaS and iRk are going to be, well, White Clan have played all their games, so if NetWars wins, they're not going to be able to catch up with NaS and iRk, and this is going to basically... Yeah, I have shelves over my bed. I've got nowhere else to put them in this place, but I'll move them before. Media unfortunately dropped out at the end of round 3 due to inactivity, but there's Group A, iRk and NaS neck and neck, very close in that win difference as well. You'll see plus 18 and plus 13 being the game difference, the match difference obviously being the same. Just to go on from that, we do have, thankfully, thanks to Radley, we have an ELO system for our players. So let's have a look who's in the top 10. We've actually got a few players that will be here today. We've got Zerg, Dragon, and Terra for NaS here. And these teams, I mean, wow, some of these players have been really good the whole way through. Looks like my icons are slightly further over than I want them to be, but I almost don't want to move everything without breaking the whole thing, so I'm going to leave them where they are for now. But looks like, yeah, it's not too much of a big problem. But Zerg, Dragon, and Terra are really high up, and TT1 as well, catching that at the end with the ELO. So huge shout outs to him. He's in chat, so it's really cool. Those stats confirm P underpowered. Well, Noob is number 1, Yeti is number 2, and Dragon is number 8, and TT1 is number 10. There's 4 Zerg, no, and DeWalt as well is 7th. So there's actually, but wait, there's only one. Yeah, there's only one Zerg. Oh no, there's 2 Zergs. Sorry, because Ho is also Zerg. But Noob is from Korea. There's 2 Zergs, Kenenti, Zerg and Ho. So Ho shoring up Zerg at the top of the list. Let's actually have a look at the matchup we're going to be seeing today, because obviously that's what you're all here for, to see some wonderful Brood War games. So if we have a look here, you'll see that both of these teams have done fantastically well throughout the... I'm not answering that question, Cadenzi. Both these teams have done fantastically well. Both of them have actually won 19 of their series played. Now, iRk and NaS actually won the head-to-head that they had with iRk. That was back in round 2, I believe it was, or round 3. I can't quite remember. But both of them neck and neck on round stats. Terran-wise, NaS definitely have had a better going, but NaS have had Terra since round 2, and also they actually had some Terrans anyway, whereas iRk, they only really had Marwyn, and Marwyn hasn't been able to play that many games yet. But I mean, looking at both of their Zergs, people are saying Zerg underpowered, man. Look at this, 29 wins, 16 losses for iRk, 27 wins, 8 losses for NaS, really? And then Protoss as well for both teams, pretty close, 34 wins, 24 losses. That means iRk have sent out 58 Protosses in the STPL so far. We've been going for a year anyway, but good to see Yeti is here, or Yeti's here as well, number 2 in the STPL rankings, so that's really cool. And yeah, there's been a little bit of inactivity from Yeti, unfortunately, so he's not been able to defend his top spot, but still, it's good to see him here regardless. If we actually have a look at the rosters for today, we'll get to see that there are some very good matches coming your way. We're going to start with Jerry versus Dragon in a ZVP. We're going to move into Norgrim versus Sugo in a ZVP. We're going to go into Tim versus Eonzerg in a PvZ. And then we're going to have DeWalt versus Terra in a PvT. Now, DeWalt, like, arguably one of the top 3, maybe even top 2 players outside of Korea right now. He went into Korea to train. I believe he was there for about 2 or 3 months. I can't remember the exact dates. He actually played up against Kanata in a best of 7, which was really, really fun to watch. DeWalt did lose that, but Kanata's a boss, so there we go. I mean, just because I like PvT, and I don't mean to be hateful towards ZVP, I actually love ZVP as well, but I think there's definitely going to be two sort of key matches here. The first one is going to be amazing. That's going to be Dragon versus Jerry. Dragon obviously getting to the round of 4 in the BSL, dropping out unfortunately in a PvZ, but Jerry, a very, very strong Korean Zerg living in the UK, taking my title of only player in the UK away because that's not me anymore. And the second key matchup is 100% going to be DeWalt versus Terra. Terra's TVP has come on leaps and bounds. DeWalt is definitely one of the best players right now. So is Terra. Even. DeWalt unfortunately crashing out in the round of 4 of the BSL as well, but winning that 3rd place match over Dragon. And then the ZVP finals, obviously True Touch versus Boneth. We've not got True Touch or Boneth playing today because no Net Wars today, but still it's going to be kind of cool. So let's have a look at our first couple of players, then we'll get into introducing the maps as well. So having a look here, our first player up for today is going to be iRk's Jerry. Jerry's been around for a while. He's got a 66% win rate. He's been in iRk since round 1. He's actually played quite actively recently, but he did have a period of inactivity where he went on, I think he either had a break for exams or went on holiday or something, but he was away for like an entire round, so that kind of explains the gap in his playing. But last time he played against Boneth, and he did actually win that game, stealing 20 ELO from Boneth there to get himself a really respectable place on the scoreboard. And his opponent for NaS is going to be Dragon. Dragon, the captain, doing an incredible job recently. Maybe his games more recently have been against players that you'd kind of expect him to win against. You can see that from the ELO, kind of getting +4, +5, +7, and +6. But that doesn't mean anything. Dragon is on a 74% win rate overall. Let's actually double check. So he's up against Zerg, he plays EVP. But his PvZ, I actually need to check. He's actually 1 for 1 recently, so that's something. But going to look forward to seeing how he's going to play out this game. Let's have a look at the map intro for our first map of today. It's Fortress SE. Okay, so Fortress SE there, one of my favourite 4-player maps from 2010. We've had 3 CVPs on here so far. Bliss took down SFCA, Norgrim took down Sinby, and Julian took down Mello. So we're actually 3-0 for Zerg on this map, so Dragon is going to be up against it, especially with such a strong opponent. I mean, Jerry took down Boneth, so that's no mean feat whatsoever. So without further ado, let's get into game number 1. It's Jerry versus Dragon. Okay, starting us off in this left-hand position, we do have the yellow Protoss fighting for NaS. It's their captain himself. It's Dragon. And his opponent spawning over here in the right-hand position, we do have the Teal Zerg fighting for iRk. It's Jerry. Now, I think one of the things that excites me most about this matchup is iRk and NaS, two of the strongest teams in the STPL. Their rosters are unbelievably strong. When I was on the Pylon show the other day, I actually tried to make... I think I gave iRk and NaS a shout out, because if you think, iRk have got DeWalt, NaS have got Eon Zerg, they've got Terra, iRk have also got Marwyn, they've got Jerry, of course, and plenty of other really, really good players. They've got another player in Tim as well, who... I mean, Tim, 5 months ago, he was in the CPL, and he's actually hit S rank now, so he just kind of broke out of, well, not out of nowhere, he put in a lot of dedication, and just amazing. And, yeah, Medino and Eon Zerg, both of them... Oh, man, sorry, Yeti. It was 2 AM when I was doing that. I'm really bad. But yeah, Yeti beat Medino. Sorry, Yeti beat Biol as well. And he actually beat him in a really epic PvT as well. So, my bad. Unfortunately, I can't go edit that. But if that was one of my own casts, I'd actually download the video and re-upload it with my with my correct wording. That's how much I care, man. But what are we going to see in this game? Jerry is going to go for an overpull, so very, very standard. Wow, is this a overpull? Yeah, it was an overpull. We're going to have a Forge first, fast expand coming in for Dragon, so nothing really too surprising from him. Dragon, not really a massive fan of Gate first, and I think it's because when you look at Bonneth, who's known for a Zealot micro, and the amount of games he's played recently where he actually just loses to Zerglings because he went Gate first, it kind of makes you realize that maybe Gate first is a little bit difficult to do. Obviously, most players will want to try and do it just because that is... It feels like it's kind of the optimal way to play because it allows you to dictate the pace of the game. But if you're going Gate first against 6 Lings like this, you actually have to build your wall very, very quickly. You're relying on no defense. Now, obviously, this still could go either way. The Zerglings are going to eventually get to the base. The cannons are actually quite close to finishing. We do have a pull by Dragon. He's going to have to block this wall, though. Although, with these cannons coming up, this is going to look a little bit better. Now, imagine if this was Gate first. Things wouldn't look nearly as good. Now, he's actually going to manage to bully his way through the probes. Gets behind the mineral line, going to make it very, very annoying. Obviously, he's going to be able to deny this gas for a little bit. Not that we will see Dragon take that too quickly. And he's just going to kind of cut off the mining on a few of these mineral patches. The Nexus, not quite yet done, but still doing a good job keeping his probe alive back at home, making sure to see everything that's going on. Now, Dragon hasn't seen the third hatchery yet. That's actually coming up at the natural third base. Now, one thing to note about Fortress SE is these are actually low gas bases. Looks like the Lings have somehow managed to break their way closer down here, but unfortunately they're going to be blocked off by the core and these cannons, so they're not going to be getting any further forward unless they maybe wait for full health again. But we do have an Overlord coming into the main, Pylon coming up in the main as well. No Hydralisk Den as of yet, actually going to go for a lair at the natural. That's going to be scouted, so not really too much we can say about that. Dragon's going to go and scout the third base as well, just making sure to check nothing too crazy is going on. So going to see that. That's very, very important. Now, is Jerry going to use this as a excuse to try and put down his tech? He's still holding off. This probe is still alive 4 minutes 30 into the game. Jerry's been powering very, very hard. Now, I keep thinking those are Lings running into the base, but it's still just these 2 Lings over here. They are going to go down to the cellar, unfortunately, but they've done a really good job trying to keep themselves alive this entire time. But looks like he's going to go for it. Is he going to be able to get into the main? No, the cannon going to stop that. Now, we do have some more Lings finally out here to push back this probe. Obviously, Dragon hasn't seen the second gas come in yet, so that's a pretty big tell that it's not going to be massively fast Mutalisks, but Jerry still does have that option. He's got a lot of drones. He can switch into gas mining fairly quickly, and he's obviously got the 3 bases. But Jerry going to be doing a really good job here, trying to block off Dragon from seeing what's going on. Now, there's still no Hydralisk Den, so Mutalisk still could be on the menu here, but it is very, very late for that kind of build. So probably just going to be for a couple of Scourge. Obviously, Corsair builds among the foreign scene, very, very popular, and once again we see Dragon going for that. Still some Lings outside the front of Dragon's base, but not really too much to say. Yeah, we've got the second gas up now for Dragon, so that's going to allow him to go into his tech that he needs. Templar Archive should be coming up soon after this. We do have the fourth hatchery being added on here. Still no Hydralisk Den. Still no second gas either. Fifth hatchery too. So 5 hatch before Hydra Den. Jerry is actually playing this very, very greedily now. We are going to see the second gas coming in. He's been pulling up his gas. So maybe he will have enough for Muteless when these pop, but I think going for Muteless at this point is going to be a little bit difficult. So as you can see, he's only adding on some Scourge. Of course, they're going to scale everything that it needs to see. Sees no Hydra Den, sees no hidden bases or anything crazy like that. And that's going to give Dragon the kind of confidence to just do what he needs to do back home. Okay, so we do have an evolution chamber coming in, creep colony at the third. Now, one thing to note about this third is just how open it is to multiple angles of attack. Now, I just need to quickly... Okay, I thought something happened, but there we go, the Muteless are actually coming into play now, so... Muters, sort of a build that a lot of pro gamers have been using recently. I know Effort has been using this quite a lot, where you go into 5 hatch Hydra after Mutalisks, and the Mutalisks kind of force the Protoss to add a few extra cannons on. They reduce the Zealot numbers because the Zealots can't just kind of move across the map with +1 in speed. +1 not quite done yet actually for Jerry, so for Dragon even, that's a little bit unfortunate. No more probes being produced, just to, oh, he is still producing probes. Templar Archives coming in as well. Let's check the gate count. Only 4 gateways at the moment. Apparently basic arithmetic is not my strong point today. 6th hatchery coming in for Jerry though. And the more this hatch count gets up, the more and more worried I'm going to be for Dragon. Now, Dragon does obviously have the option for going for one of the hidden corner bases. +1 and speed is now done on his Zealots as well. So that's going to be a big help. But he's going to need to get Storm fairly quickly. And he's going to have to deal with these Mutalisks, because if the Mutalisk count continues to rise, which it looks like Jerry is quite content with not doing at the moment, how are you realistically going to attack as Dragon? You're going to need to take down the Muters, push across with a lot of Zealots, but the longer that Jerry is left unattended, the stronger his macro is going to get, the stronger his production is going to get as well. And we're slowly but surely going to see Jerry start to really leap ahead in supply here as he starts to be able to afford Hydralisks off of all of his hatcheries. Now obviously Dragon is keeping that 20 supply lead, very standard in ZVP. Now he's actually going to go into double Archon here. Now I didn't see if they were hallucinated, but I highly doubt they were. Hallucinated Archon's kind of hard to do, but certainly worth it if you can get it right. They're not banned in the STPL either. I mentioned that on the Pylon show the other day as well, but looks like we are going to have the Muteless moving forward. The Zealots moving out, killing a single Ling, pulling back. And Scourge going to fly in, see if they can intercept something. We got taken down by the cannon. Interestingly, no more Stargate units being added on by Dragon here. I think he's figured out that the Mutalisk count isn't going up any further. Overlord getting sacked here to actually deal with the army. But looks like the Mutalisk going to come in. Scourge, nice pick off by Jerry there. Gets one of those Scourge, doesn't lose too many of his gets one of the Corsairs, doesn't lose too much, but Jerry is supply blocked. There's going to be a little bit of a benefit here for Dragon as he pushes forward into the melee here. The Corsairs getting picked off once again. Look at the amount of Hydralisks that Jerry's been able to produce off of these 6 hatcheries. And all of a sudden, Dragon's meager army is going to be forced to pull back. He doesn't have Storm. He doesn't have any of the splash damage he needs to deal with this. Now, looks like we are going to have a big engagement. The Zealots getting on top of the Hydrals. The Dragoons at the back, shooting at the Mutalisk. Going to really hurt him in the long run. The Mutalisk aren't going to be the big damage dealer here, but the engagement by Dragon, how has he managed to do this with this army? Yes, he has +1 attack. But wow, that was really cool. Jerry didn't seem to micro that much. I think he just thought he had overwhelming numbers. But this is the real benefit of Jerry's economy here. He's going to rebuild very quickly. Looks like he is going to have to pull back against these Zealots this time. Wants to pull back to more reinforcements. Dragoons against Hydras is not a fight you want to be in. Let's look at the upgrades. +1 attack for both players. Looks like I'm going to have to change the skin during the game, or between the games as well, because the green skin looks a bit weird when casting this, so I'll change that to a better one. But yeah, I mean, really, really nice macro by Jerry. Jerry actually evening up the supply almost, so things are going to go back to normal. We're going to have a fourth base even coming in for Jerry. Now, unlike Norgrim when we saw him play on this map, he's actually just going to take another natural, and that's going to allow him to continue to pump more and more units. Dragon has skipped Storm for a very, very long time. Looks like he does have Storm energy now. That's a big Storm on those front Hydralisks, but only getting 2 of them. I mean, this gateway is eventually going to go down. Another good Storm, but Jerry with really, really nice Storm dodging. He can't quite save his gateway, obviously. Oh wow, is this going to be a big drop? No, it's not a drop. I thought they were drop overlords, but another Storm whiffing. Jerry with great, great micro pulling back, moving in at the correct frequencies. Now let's actually have a look at what's going on. Third gas coming up, which should signal Hive coming soon. Another Storm going down at the front of this base. Jerry is slowly bleeding units, but with his production, his supply just does not seem to be going down. You can just see the sheer number of Hydralisks that are moving across this map right now. Another good Storm though by Dragon, but let's have a look at the energy. The energy very, very low on these 5 High Templar now. And this is where things get a little bit worrying. Now, we do have a lot of gateways coming in for Dragon, but he's still not got a third base. He's going to be, well, he's about halfway through his main. Going to be a little bit further up in his natural, but here we go. Another High Templar moving forward. Doesn't have enough for Storm. Can Jerry jump in and kill that? Looks like he's going to. Good snipe. Trading a couple of Hydras there for a High Templar going to be very, very worthwhile. Playing the effort style is Jerry here, as he is just going mass Hydra. That's going to be relying entirely on micro to deal with this. I mean, Dragon is slowly starting to get his energy upgrade, or his energy back again. He's not gone for the Kadar, or I don't know if it's Kadarin or Kadarian, but either way, he's not going for that just yet. No, +3 on the way either. Looks like Dragon going to build that on a forge back in his base somewhere. No, he's actually going to skip that for now. Now, the kind of crazy thing about this game, and it's something you don't often see in PvZ and Brood War, is it looks like it's going to come down to one big, oh, there we go, the effort style's over, he's got some lurkers now. Now, luckily enough, there is an observer already, but it looks like he could get that snipe to good Storm. Actually, does that hit the... Wow, that didn't even hit the lurker, so a little bit unfortunate. Obviously, Dragon going to have to work his way forward. He does need to break out of this before it's too late. There's actually a High Templar there moving forward into the fire, but good Storm from that back High Templar there does manage to take that down, but Dragon is just pinned in his base by these constant Hydra lurker reinforcements, adding on another 4 lurkers here as well, just to really solidify his position on this map. But if Dragon can move out, if he can get a big engagement here, maybe he can sneak a base. Looks like he is going to try and push forward. His High Templar a little bit too far back, not going to be able to go forward. Does get 1 Storm, but that's not going to be enough. And the Dragoons at the front getting melted by these Hydralisks right now. There's no Zealots, or at least the Zealots unable to move in. Good Storm on those back Hydras, but with Cracklings, I believe they should be Cracklings now coming in. The Storm energy getting sparse. Dragon is losing more and more army, but still he continues to stay here. It's not going to be Cracklings just yet. No Hive actually has been added on for Jerry. He is just going to be building mass layer units, which is perfectly fine for this situation, because he knows Dragon is not going to be able to break out of his base, especially if he snipes the observers like that. Great move. Another 3 lurkers coming in the back now. Does Dragon have a contingency plan? He is going to go for a big bust here. Can he make it work? There's a lot of lurkers. Doesn't manage to get the snipe on that lurker, unfortunately. But good Storms at the back once again. Still trading away efficiently. The Zealots can't get through. The Dragoons cannot get out properly. He does actually have the ability to take down these lurkers, but a little bit of a misfire. The Zealots coming in, or the Zerglings coming in, making it very difficult. Nice Storm at the back. But +1 is absolute, or +2 even, shredding these Dragoons without any armor upgrades, and unfortunately for Dragon, he just can't afford them. Another Storm going down is not going to hit that Archon, but very, very close. And I think this is the time where Dragon has to go. He knows there's fewer units here. He's going to wait for some more energy, wait for another Archon, but the longer he waits, the more and more units are going to come back here from the bases. Hive finally coming in, lots of units spawning from all of these hatcheries right now. There is a good number of gateways, but looks like Dragon has hit the go button. He's going to try and break his way out here if he can get a good engagement and can take out a couple of bases. Good Storm on top of the two lurkers up there. Gets a good engagement once again. A lot of Jerry's units actually in production still. And Dragon is doing a great job pushing out here a huge Storm on top of those lurkers. Wow, only actually hit one. But does Dragon actually have enough to break through here? No +3 means he's not trading as efficiently as he wants to. But the lurker's forced to unburrow. Dragon has finally secured a little bit of space outside of his front. Jerry actually losing a few lurkers there for free, unfortunately. Now, is this a mistake by Dragon? Should he just try and get a probe out and get a third base in the corners? Looks like he's going to try and expand here, but there's still a lot of units coming in from Jerry, even lots of Lings, lots of Hydras, the Dragoons trying to micro back the High Templar at the front, 16 kills, but no form of energy for him. Dragon needs more Zealots up here, though. This is a lot of Dragoons, but Dragoons do not trade well with Cracklings as we get into more and more units. But I mean, he's doing a great job. He's breaking through Jerry, and despite having so much economy, so much production, Dragon breaks through, and GG! Dragon takes his 2 base all the way to the front of Jerry and somehow manages to get the perfect engagement. He's on top of 3 of the hatcheries, and that's a great first win there for Dragon. You know, genuinely, sometimes I look at games and I'm like, no, okay, so I was thinking in my head, I don't think Dragon's got this. I think Jerry's going to hold his contain, and I don't think there's going to be much that Dragon can do. But he kept trading efficiently. He pushed out the perfect timing. Jerry hadn't quite managed to get any of his Hive Tech up. He hadn't got the units that he was trying to build either. And he managed to just push through, and Jerry unfortunately just didn't feel like he had enough. And that's going to take us into game number 2. When we get back, it's going to be Sugo versus Norgrim when we get back after this. What a great time to come back as the siren goes past. That's the ZVP police gonna catch Jerry for losing that game. But we're gonna get into game number 2 in just a few moments. So without any wait, let's actually introduce our next couple of players for both of our teams, and then we get in. So if we have a look at the player history, Norgrim has been a strong member of iRk for a while. He's got a 66% win rate, not played as many games as some of his colleagues here in iRk. He actually played a lot in round 1, then took a relatively long break. He's back once again playing, played in week 6, that was last week I believe. No, wow, he actually played in, that must have been 2, I think it was. All the way back in February. So it's been a wait for Norgrim, but he is 3-0 against Protoss. Looking at the Protoss he's beaten, he beat Mazur, he beat Caspus, and he beat Sinbi from White as well. He actually beat Sinbi on Fortress SE, so he's got a lot of experience on that map. And his opponent, sorry, fighting for NaS, it's going to be Sugo. Now, Sugo is also on 66% win rate. A lot of players doubted him when he joined NaS, but you know what? He's been a very strong sort of linchpin for the NaS roster. He's come out so many times, won so many of his games. The only ZVPs he's actually lost recently, wow, he's actually on a 0-2 losing streak against Zerg, was against Kingpin and Dark, so nothing really to see there. He actually beat Cold before, he beat Faust as well. Sorry, he beat Dark, he lost to Galaxy. So he's fine. He's only lost one recent game against Zerg. It's all good. As we get into our second map here, it's going to be Neo Chain Reaction. Okay, so there you saw it, Neo Chain Reaction, our two-player map for today on the Twilight set here, or Twilight Tile set here. It's been a very exciting map to see games on. Dragon took down Gogi here, and Bonneth took down Bob Moo. Now, I think Bonneth versus Bob Moo was a little bit more one-sided, but Dragon versus Gogi was a good game. We are 1-to-1 ZVP. There's not been too many games played on this map, but the games we've had have been amazing. So without further ado, let's get into game number 2. It's Sugo versus Norgrim. Okay, so starting us over here in the 3 o'clock position, we do have the purples, or the purple Protoss even, fighting for NaS. It's Sugo. And his opponent spawning here in the yellow as the Zerg, fighting for iRk. It's Norgrim. Okay, so Sugo versus Norgrim. Sugo a good player for NaS. Norgrim a good player for iRk as well. This map does have a wallable location here, so it's not too crazy. This was actually one of the final maps that was made by like the Kesper map makers all the way back in 2011. It was used for the very final season of Brood War Pro League, and when I say Brood War Pro League, it was the hybrid Pro League they did, the SK Planet Pro League 2011-2012 that this map saw play in. And it was one of those games, like one of the major games that a lot of people remember from this map was, I think it was Flash versus Bisu. It was a really sick game, so if you do have time, go and watch the VODs from that map back in the day. Go and watch the STPL VODs as well to see how the modern meta plays out on this map. We've seen some really good TVPs, some good ZVPs, good TVT, I think, we saw, okay, so in terms of TVP, we saw Bonneth versus Radley, where Radley went NaS Wraith against Bonneth's carriers, and we saw Anne versus Scan, which was an absolute slugfest, where the map split, everything was going down, and it was great. We've actually got 11 hatch coming in here from Norgrim after an overpool, so he is going to be building a few lings at least early on. This is a pretty good map for I always say Sunken Bust because I play Terran, so I just expect but cannon busts. That's pretty sad. Now, unfortunately, I am solo casting again today. Rapid, as far as I'm aware, is actually back in America, which is really cool. Hopefully he's having a nice break. He did cast, I think I counted up how much he actually casted last week, and it was something like out of his weekend, he casted for nearly 28 hours, which is just insane. Like, I've casted a lot in one go before. Once casted a 6-hour TL Open, and then like a 5-hour Zotac Cup, but that was only 11 hours in a row. And I mean, just Rapid is just a boss for all that stuff. So Really huge shout out to Rapid, not sure if he's watching, but if he is, hopefully he enjoys the show from the comfort of his own home. Now, we are going to have Lings running past this cannon. This is very, very annoying. I know I should have got a little bit more hype about that, but didn't look like they were going to get there. Now, we did see this in the Jerry game, and unfortunately for Jerry, the Lings didn't do too much. But Sugo's cannon is in a bit of a difficult position here to deal with the Lings. The probes, he's kind of leaving a lot off of the line while he tries to deal with this, but yeah, I mean, these Lings are going to be very, very annoying until he gets the Zealot out, but that's going to be a while. You can see the Zealot only now just starting up. Norgrim is supply blocked for the time being, so does need to make sure he adds that next Overlord, which should be coming in. But was that 3 or 2 probes? Now this could be 3 probes. 3 probes with 2 Lings. Norgrim is clowning a little bit. Now one of the Lings does go down. That's a little bit unfortunate, but the Ling going to get a scout in the main. Wow. Did I miss something? Where are all of Sugo's probes? Did he pull all of them? Oh, he did. He actually just pulled all his probes into his net. I guess it makes it a little bit easier to defend, but that's really going to affect his economy here. Now, Zealot finally get out and deal with the Ling, but obviously Speedlings run away from Speed Zealot, or they run away from normal Zealots for a very, very long time. Now, we do have a Ling trying to take down these warp gates. This is one of the map features. It does open this back path, which is going to give him access to his third base. He's going to have to go through a temple though to fully get through there. So it's going to be a while before those 2 plucky Lings can make their way through. Offline KSL is today. Wow, okay, so Norgrim is actually going to take out both warp gates. I guess he doesn't like StarCraft 2 very much. Going to make sure the Protoss doesn't learn how to use those. Maybe trying to erase history here, but let's see exactly what Norgrim's doing. He's going for 3 hatch into Spire, much like Jerry. There's no Vespene guys at the natural yet, but obviously Jerry did eventually go into a few muters before. It didn't really help him too much at the end of that game we saw, but the warp gate dies in a very, very nice way. Now, looks like Jerry did decide to kill this, but he's not going to move forward and kill the other side just yet. I think he's a little bit worried that maybe there's going to be a few units coming his way. Obviously, he does have the Ling up here scouting for everything that's going on. Goes build, he's going to go for a Citadel first. Oh, the Stargate's here, sorry. So Stargate into Citadel. Templar Archives obviously going to follow this up. +1 attack is very, very delayed though for Sugo here. This really shows the effect those Lings had on him and his early game economy. Everything is going to be a little bit later, a couple of seconds at the very least even. That's not obviously including the sort of mind share that those Zerglings took from everything that's going on, obviously. Sugo adding another couple of gateways back at home. Everything perfectly normal, but here we go. Looks like we are going to have another lot of Speedlings being added on. He wants to make sure to see if he can get through, so exactly what's going to happen as they move up. Now, obviously he does have the option of going for a bust. There's only 1 cannon here. I don't believe this is actually Zealot Ling type, but maybe it is. Maybe I'm just being stupid. But looks like we do have a 4th hatchery added on over here, 5th hatchery as well, and Lurkers being upgraded straight away. So it is just going to be a Spire for Scourge this time, going into Hydras, going into Lurkers. And in terms of the first game, Vincent Rose, we did have Dragon versus Jerry K97. Dragon actually took that game. It was a really, really exciting CVP on Fortress SE. He had a really, really nice comeback there. Now the Scourge coming in here, going to make it a little bit more annoying to deal with these Corsairs. The Corsairs going to have to use the... okay, now he should be fine. Poor John Bomb is always linked out, thank you. I've had a very, very weird week sleep-wise, so things are acting a bit funny at the moment in my brain. 7th hatchery actually coming on here, or is that the 6th hatchery? I think it might be the 6th hatchery. Basic maths as well is also failing me. Yeah, it's the 6th hatchery. Still no Hive, he's not going to be rushing Hive or anything. There's not actually that many units for either player though at the moment, so... one thing I kind of want to do is I almost feel like we're not on fastest. I don't know why, but the game time seems to be going slower. Is it just me? Is this on fastest? Am I being silly? You know what? There's an easy way to check. Yep, we're on fastest. That's fastest times 2. Okay. I should just done that to begin with. It just feels like the game's a little bit sluggish. I don't know why. But looks like the Zealot's going to be moving into the third base due to the lack of units. Things are going to be very, very difficult. Looks like Sugo's hitting a perfect timing here. A lot of these drones should be going down, but the Sunken Colony going to be doing a lot of work. The Lurkers coming in, though, going to make this very, very difficult for more damage to be done. We're going to have to see Sugo get a very nice split on his Zealots, or they're all going to go down. But still, a little nice light bit of harassment. But losing all of those Zealots is actually going to give Norgrim that supply advantage now. And that's something we never actually saw in Game 1. Jerry had so many hatcheries, but he never really took the supply advantage over his Protoss opponent. Dragon just had so many gateways, was pumping so many units. Now the issue is, obviously, there's a lot of Zealots moving out on the ramp, or on the map even. But there's Lurkers coming up. They're going to be able to contain him now. Zealots trying to force their way in. Obviously going to be a strong move, but here we go. The Zergling's actually going to get on top of the first cannon. If this cannon goes down, there's going to be nothing to detect the Lurkers. The first cannon goes down. The cannon at the back looks like it's going to go down as well. Norgrim with a very strong push. There's nothing to reveal this Lurker now. The final cannon has actually gone down. The Lurker, or the Zealots even, taking a lot of damage. And even a lot of probes going down there in that kind of melee. Now we do have Sugo with the Zealots out on the map. Gonna see if he can get in and do a little bit of counter damage. It's a very important moment in the game. If Sugo can manage to break his way through, then this could change a lot of things. But the trouble is, with no cannon, he still can't see this single Lurker. And the Lings, oh, more Lurkers popping out, actually. Going to make this very, very difficult. Looks like the Lurker's going to pull back. Does want to make sure he can kill the gateway and the forge. Yeah, losing this forge is a massive deal, because he's only got one cannon at the moment. And if that cannon goes down, I don't see any... Oh, here we go. Actually, a lot of Lings coming back here. Sugo Zealots getting a good engagement with most of them, but getting overwhelmed. Norgrim's unit production is very, very strong. We've got a fourth base coming in down there for Norgrim. But Sugo Zealot micro taking after Dragon here. 3 of those Zealots on 1 health. How unfortunate, but we do have a couple of Scourge coming in here. I thought that was going to be a drop. That would have been an incredible place to drop, but unfortunately, he doesn't have the units for it. Now, Sugo has a Templar Archives, and he's had a Citadel for a while, but it looks like he delayed Storm. And delaying Storm is causing him a lot of problems this game. Now, oh, these Zealots are not going to be long for this world. 2 of them very, very low on health. Getting all 3 of those low health Zealots is going to be very, very annoying. Zealots move forward, take out that first unit there, but with Scourge here, Observers are going to find trouble getting up there. There's still actually no robo anywhere. Oh yeah, there is. Sorry, there's an observatory. We're all fine. More and more units coming in. 4th base starting up now. Things are looking pretty normal over on Norgrim's side. Still with that supply lead. Hive is done. He's going for drop. He's actually going for the Defiler Mound as well, so that's going to allow him to negate any cannons and also any Dragoons. But Sugo, I don't know why, but Sugo's army just hasn't ever seemed to be that big. I mean, when you compare this to last game, like last game Dragon was almost maxed at this point, and Sugo's actually stuck at 70 supply right now. I don't know if he's just got a lack of gateways or if it's just because he's been trading away so many Zealots so often. It's funny, there's actually an observer here. Sorry, I think that was actually Overlord Speed. That would make more sense. The Overlord Speed is done, so I don't think he had that before. It's kind of funny how the Observer's here, but he didn't really have enough units to go and deal with these Lurkers. And there's also a large pack of Lings out there. There's also a good number of Overlords just scouting all the other bases. Norgrim just wants to make sure there's no hidden base here. Now, a DT, this is a strong move. Because he's not actually going to be able to kill that. He doesn't have an Overlord up here. Second DT going to come in as well. Force away Norgrim's units. And that is going to open the path for not only the Zealots to get out, or the units to get out, it's also going to allow these DTs to run past. And it looks like he does want to try and deal with this. Now, is there an Overlord coming in? Yeah, there's actually 2 Overlords. Let's see how many Lings that these DTs can get. One of them gets 6, one of them gets about 6 as well. But trading your DTs for 12 Lings, not the best. Obviously, it's going to be very difficult to do damage in the bases just because Norgrim is so well defended. But this base only has only has a Spore, for instance. Now, we do have the Defiler with Consume, that's going to allow him to push forward. Plague is going to be very strong in this situation. There are a good number of Storms on these High Templar, but no Kadar and Amulet, no Hallucinate as of yet, so we're not going to see any half-priced Archons or anything like that. And Norgrim is just securing an amazing position on the map. Like, Sugo is going to be able to move up here and build a base, but the second he tries to do that, Norgrim can bounce forward. Norgrim getting really good unit control on his Lurkers, making sure to split against all of those Storms. Now, using double Storm, while the Defiler actually goes down. Now, this is kind of annoying. There's obviously going to be a Lurker not quite in the Swarm, but Zealots kill under Swarm, so it's all good. Yeah, he is fighting to stay alive all game. It's really, really unfortunate for Sugo, but he's doing a really good job staying alive at least. He's going to be able to go for that third base. Good Storm on those units here. Norgrim obviously in a very, very strong position. No 5th bases of yet, but still should be good. I mean, he traded so many units for very, very little there. Sugo doing an absolutely fantastic job. Another great Storm going on those Lurkers under the Swarm. The Swarm wears out, but that's a huge Plague. Another group of units actually going down, but the Plague is the real story here. The Plague taking the units down to 1 health when the shields that take full damage from everything get depleted. All of a sudden these Protoss units are going to melt. Now Sugo is still doing a good job, but his supply is getting lower and lower, and Norgrim's is continuing to go up. GG, Norgrim takes down Sugo to tie us up 1-1. Okay, so, well, looks like I didn't change the transition, but it's all good. That's all part of the fun. Obviously, we're going to hit into game number 3. I'm going to quickly take like a minute or 2 break just to get my voice back a little bit and get another drink of water, and I will see you guys in just a second. Enjoy the show. Okay guys, welcome back to the STPL. We're going to be going into our 3rd game between iRk and NaS. We've had an exciting series so far, and we're going to go into kind of this, in terms of interest, this to me is like what I'm most interested in. I know I didn't mark it as my key match, but I mentioned at the start of the cast that Tim, the guy that's just about to appear on your screen, Now, Tim was actually like, I think he was around low B rank about 5 months ago. Now he's S. Okay. Yeah, I know the pylon show thing is yeah, that picture wasn't that great. Oh my god. I'll talk about it when we get in the game a little bit, when we're in a short bit. But Tim, coming out here in the STPL, he beat Kingpin, he beat Rota, he's got a 100% win rate, his ELO is looking pretty good as well. And he's kind of the underdog here for sure. But this is gonna kind of be the David versus Goliath story of this series, because Tim is a man who is a kind of, I guess to explain it, he's grown an incredible amount. He started around my level, maybe a little bit higher, and now he's actually really, really good. Like, he is taking out really, really good players. S rank on ladder. Tim is like the... Tim is definitely David in this story, but his opponent going to be one of the best foreign players to have touched the game. It's iRk. Now, iRk is on an 83% win rate. It's a ZVP. The last 5 Protosses, the last 4 Protoss games that iRk played, he beat Bonith twice. Both of those games were in 6 minutes. He lost to Doggy, and he actually beat Jax as well. So iRk is so unbelievably good, but I'm really interested to see if Tim can actually beat Bonith in terms of actually surviving the Ling Rush. Huge thank you, Sari, for the host. I did kind of call you out for not watching your own team play, but there you are. Nice of you. Welcome. Welcome to all those viewers as well. Now if we have a look at the map, we're going to be heading in to La Mancha. Okay, so La Mancha, 4-player map, very standard, very cool as well. Hopefully one day we'll see this on ladder. It was used in the Shinhan Bank Pro League in 2010 and 11, got reused again in the Shinhan Bank Winners League, was one of the first maps that was shown off when Remastered was announced, and overall one of my favourite maps to play on. We've actually had 6 EVPs here, Zerg won 5-1. So a little bit Zerg favoured so far in the STPL, even in ZBT. We've had 4 for 2, but if you want to look at the games, we saw Kenzie take down first, iRk took down Jax, Dark took down Hinamu, and Kenzie took down Talent and Dreamer. So some of those matches, at least the ones with Kenzie, were a little bit one-sided, I guess. Obviously, Dark versus Hinamu was very close, iRk taking down Jax was pretty difficult, but going to be cool to see exactly how Tim is going to do as we get into game number 3. It's Tim versus iRk. Okay, so Tim up here in the top right, section as the Protoss player, one of the up-and-coming foreign players that's kind of come from nowhere almost, put in an insane amount of effort, rose up the ranks very quickly, and he's up here against one of the best foreigners. It's iRk. iRk won BSL 5. Unfortunately got knocked out from BSL 6 in the round of 16, but he's qualified for the KSL offline qualifiers. He's currently living in Korea for the next month or 2, I think it is, or it might be 3 months. Can't remember the exact dates. But iRk is definitely the Goliath of this David and Goliath story. And just overall, an absolutely fantastic Zerg player. Now, the last few games he played against Bonith, obviously one of the best Protoss players outside of Korea, he didn't actually win with Ling Bust, so One of the things I'm going to be looking for when it comes to Tim here is whether or not he can actually get away with beating that 6-minute aggression from Eon Zerg, because knowing Eon Zerg, he likes to win games quickly. One of the things that he said to me in Sale back when we were casting like the TL Opens in 2017 was that Eon said if he goes into a game, if he can win quickly, he's going to go to win quickly. And you see that in all of his style. Like, there's not really too much you can see that goes against that method. Obviously, lots to be said there. Hey, Hinamu, welcome. Good to see you here. Once again with your gold icon as well. Looks really cool on you, just saying. And Tim, gonna be going for Forge Fast Expand. Now, if there's one player that you'd likely see someone go for kind of like 2 cannons immediately against, it's going to be Eon Zerg. But Tim, with a nice scout at the front, doing a pretty good job, able to build, well, not going to be able to block the hatchery, so that's a little bit of a win for Eon Zerg, but obviously it's a short-lived, or it would have been a short-lived victory even if he blocked it, because there's going to be 6 lings on the way here for Eon Zerg. Now, how many cannons is Tim going to build? If he builds 1, he's got a chance of being busted. If he builds 2, it's almost too many. So he's going to have a very delicate balancing act here. Obviously this map a little bit easier to wall in than some of the other maps we've had in the pool. So looks like we are going to have the things pushing out on the map. Now unfortunately for Eon Zerg, he doesn't know where his opponent is. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Obviously you can see from his vision that he doesn't know where to send his lings. He can't tell from the direction the probe came in either because he had no hatchery down there. So a little bit unfortunate here for Eon Zerg. Any early rush is going to be sort of counteracted. Now, he did manage to scout that bottom right-hand position, going to move up, see if he can break through. The probes have been pulled already. I really do just want to see a second cannon added though, because otherwise this game could end very, very quickly. And I swear every single ZVP ends with the initial links from Eon Zerg. So I really want to see a little bit of a later stage of the game from him. And I really want to see if he's the kind of player who would go for a lot of Hydras like Effa does. Now, the probes doing a semi-decent job blocking, do manage to actually get a good number of the lings killed, but a single ling getting past, going to be annoying, but obviously not going to be able to do as much damage as 2, as 3, as 4. So Tim should be able to deal with this. Obviously this is pretty taxing on your APM to have to deal with this. Tim is doing a relatively good job. Now unfortunately, due to the fact he's adding on a lot of buildings, he's neglecting to build probes at his Nexus at his natural. That's probably the first major mistake I've seen from Tim, and that's really, really impressive. Now, oh, the single ling gets a probe. That's really, really unfortunate. Oh my god, is he getting another probe? Someone stop this ling. 8 health, but he's still alive, he's still running. And he's going for it. Now we do have the probes scouting out that there is a third base over there in the 9 o'clock position. So just to quickly get a look at that. Looks like that probe has been hitting it for a while. So maybe eventually that probe will get a kill and become a hero. But looks like we are going to have the lair coming in for Eon Zerg. Very standard of him. He does like going straight into lair. Stargate coming in for Tim as well. Very, very standard play from him. Not really too much I can say about that. Looks like the probe has eventually given up on killing that hatchery. Does want to try and go in for another scalp, but great pick off by Eon Zerg, getting the perfect block. Gonna really keep Tim in the dark. Obviously scouting out this this drone count is very, very important. Now a lot of speedlings are actually going to be on the way here. Now this is kind of how we saw Bonneth fall before. Bonneth kind of only went for 1 cannon. He didn't really build too many zealots to defend, and eventually he got run through from Eon Zerg. So if Tim can manage to hold his supply lead, if he can keep himself alive against all of the lings that are going to be coming in here for Eon Zerg, then I'm going to give that as a sort of semi-win for Tim, who's definitely the underdog here. But it looks like Eon's kind of scouting around, wants to make sure there's no hidden proxies or something. Like, obviously proxies could be strong in PvZ, but Eon making sure to scout absolutely everywhere. Looks like we are going to have those lings moving in. There is speed. The Zealots are going to have to block. The Corsair are going to move out here. See the ling count. That's actually a pretty big moment in this game. +1 air attack coming in here for the units. We don't have a second gas yet, so it is going to be Hydralisk. 4th hatchery is up. 5th hatchery is on the way as well. So Eon Zerg is actually not going to win in the 6-minute mark, so Tim is actually doing better than Bonneth in this game, just saying guys. We'll hail Tim, our new Protoss Overlord, because surviving past the 6-minute versus Eon Zerg is not easy. Now we do have a Citadel up here, getting speed, going to go into a Templar Archives fairly shortly behind this as well. So fairly standard play from both players, still Lings piling up outside this base. And can I just ask, is the music and the sound volume fine? Because the other day I noticed that when I was trying to play yesterday, I couldn't tell if it was just because I was really tired, but Brood War seemed very, very quiet. I'm actually going to turn it up a little bit. Just let me know if that's too much, but whatever reason it actually quietened down. So I've not seen anyone mention they can't hear the audio, but as long as you can hear me as well as the audio, that's what I'm aiming for. So just let me know, guys. Oh, okay. So it was definitely too quiet. So yeah, that's something. So can you hear it now, TT1? Is it better now? Okay, we do have the Corsairs moving in, gonna try and see if they can snipe some Overlords, but the sneaky Hydralisks hidden under them by Eonta are gonna be able to take down one of those Overlords. Okay, well as long as it's fine, then that's good for me. Because I want to make sure people can hear the Brood War sounds, because the Brood War soundtrack is really sick, and the sound effects are nice as well, so I don't want to miss out on those. Templar Archives done, Storm halfway finished, Speed is done for the Zealots, +1 attack is done as well. Now we've got the good old stream drama happening in chat. TT1 and Seri are good friends though, from what I understand, so it should be fine. Both of them NA Protosses, so they've got to have at least some ounce of self-respect, because by playing Protoss they don't have any. Am I right, guys? No, I actually prefer Protoss players to Zerg, so saying. Okay, so in terms of what's going on back here, we've got an additional 3 gateways being added on for Tim. Tim is actually going to go for a big push off of 8 gateways on 2 bases. He's actually still keeping his supply lead against Eon Zerg, which is not an easy feat. I did mention that before, but it continues to be the case now. The Zealot, oh wow, he's actually going in with 5 Zealots and a DT. They're not going to be long for this world, unfortunately, but if he can get this DT away and maybe up into the 3rd base, possibly he could do some damage. He's actually going to... I guess he turned around the DT to do more damage, but it did go down. So a little bit unfortunate. Tim still maintaining a supply lead though. See if he can take a leaf out of Dragon's Book. Going to stay on 2 base for as long as possible, and then try and weather the storm. Now we saw this in game 1. Jerry did moves like this. He pushed straight in. Did take a lot of damage to Storm, and eventually Dragon's army was too big, and he just pushed out and completely decimated the army of Jerry K97. Now we do have Lurkers coming in. This is Overlord B? No, that's Overlord Drop, isn't it? The Overlord upgrades, it's Overlord Drop, so he's actually going to be going for a big Lurker drop, I would imagine, into the natural now. The Hydra's going to force back the Zealots. We're going to see another good Storm hopefully coming in. Oh! No Storm being placed down. A Storm on mostly his own units. A little bit unfortunate, but that's a good Storm. Another good Storm in the middle, actually wasting a couple of Storms. They're going to lose one of these Archons eventually, but +1 doing a lot of damage to Eon Zerg's army, and Tim getting a great engagement. But here we can start to see the crack showing in Tim's play while he was doing that engagement. His money went up very, very high. Obviously with 8 gateways he's going to be able to spend it pretty quickly, but you do need to keep on top of your macro. But doing a really, really good job against Eon Zerg here is Tim. Okay, so Protoss players having a supply lead is not a... Okay, normally, if they were evenly matched players, it wouldn't be a win, but iRk has got some of the best macro outside of Korea, and Tim has only just hit S rank, so it's actually a massive win for Tim here to be able to do this. Now, Tim doing a really, really good job keeping iRk's army back. The Corsairs actually going to go down. Now, he does need to be careful. Third base is going to be coming up here for Tim. He continues to hold on to that supply lead. Lots of units being pumped out these gateways. He is saving a little bit too much, though. Kadari and Emulet coming in for him. Obviously, Storm going to be very, very important in the upcoming engagements. Looks like iRk, unlike Jerry, is going to go for that effort style where you go for nothing but mass Hydras. But the reason why effort can get this to work is effort has 500 APM. And iRk, I mean, his APM is comfortably sitting around 300 when you watch his stream. He plays very, very fast, but the Observer going down here, there is actually a Lurker. Looks like that's a little bit disappointing. There's going to be 2 Lurkers here, going to be doing a lot of damage to these Zealots. Does manage to force them back, but this is the big moment. Lurker drop coming in to the natural expansion. A cannon is actually going to take down one of these. The second one going to be doing a load of damage, but probes just don't die. Probes are so good. Now it looks like the Lurker actually going to be picked up now. There is a couple of Hydras here. Do cancel out that third base. There is a cannon going up in the main. That's not going to finish quick enough. But it looks like he's going to have to pull some of his probes if he wants to survive here. Lots of his probes actually sitting idle. This cannon is so important. If he can't get this cannon up, he's not going to have any form of detection. Looks like there is an observatory. But his first observer isn't quite out yet. Oh yes it is, there we go, it's actually at the front, so he's gonna have to pull this back. This Lurker actually managing to get 11 kills for his troubles, +1 attack has been completed. Looks like Tim is going to be able to... Oh, Tim is really struggling with the multitask now. iRk is starting to get a really, really big lead. Tim pulling... iRk pulling Tim all over the place. Just making it very, very difficult for Tim to really secure an area now. Unfortunately, due to those stop Zealots, these 2 Archons are going to go down. Looks like he has finally realized them. There is going to be a big storm coming his way if he does get it. Oh, that's a huge storm! So much damage being done to the Hydralisks. What a fantastic storm there. Another storm on these back Hydras, but look at the amount of reinforcements coming in here for iRk. The macro machine of Eon slowly starting to come into power. You see that the supply lead has been taken by Eon with some great engagements, some great harassment, and Tim is still stuck on 2 bases. Unlike when we saw Dragon push out of his 2 bases before, Tim doesn't have +2, I don't believe, just yet. And there's another double Lurker drop, 16 kills. I'm actually going to rewind just a little bit, just so we can see that very final minute, or very final second even. Let's actually go back, have a look. Teal on this map is really hard to see. Okay, so I did miss it, but let's see these overlords coming in. There's a cannon coming up in the middle line, doesn't finish in time again. iRk hitting the perfect timing. Wow, 3 kills, so that Lurker actually got like 10, wow, 5 kills in that one spine. That's a lot of damage to be taking. Tim, unfortunately, stuck on 2 bases, was unable to pull back from here. So, game over for Tim. That's going to be another win for NaS on the board. And yeah, so unfortunately, that's going to be the end for Tim. Tim had a valiant effort, though. To play that well against someone of iRk's caliber is no mean feat. So huge congratulations to Tim, just on how much he's improved over the past 6-7 months. It's unfathomable to me. I've played 10 years and I'm nowhere near as good as him. Like, it's kind of sad, actually. But yeah, looks like we are going to have a 2-1 lead for NaS. We're getting into game number 4. It's going to be Terra versus DeWalt when we get back after this short break. See you guys very soon. Okay guys, I don't want to keep you guys waiting for too long, and I don't want to wait too long for this game either, because we're up for the arguably most exciting match of tonight so far. Because fighting for iRk, we have one of the best Protoss players outside of Korea. It's iRk's DeWalt. DeWalt is on a 78% win rate. He's actually won 8 games in a row. Obviously all those have been a little bit one-sided, but he took down Yeti on Katrina. That was one of the last games from round 2. And just overall, iRk, sorry, round 3 even, DeWalt is just an incredible, incredible Protoss player. He's 8-3 against Terran. Let that sink in. 8 wins, 3 losses. That's a near 75% win rate over Terran, at least. Wait, it's probably not, and I've just said something really stupid, but whatever. It's a really, really good win rate, and his opponent, one of the best Terrans outside of Korea, it's going to be Terra. Now, Terra is on a 76% win rate himself. He's actually 6-3. Wait, are they on the same? No, okay. So DeWalt's actually won 2 of them, but this should be a really, really exciting match. Now, Terra did actually get taken down by Yeti in round 3, so Yeti went from taking down Terra on Athena 2 to, I think, the week after that, taking down Bjol in the finals. So that was the playoff semi-finals and the finals, so great games by Yeti there, so no problem losing. Now, unfortunately, Terra hasn't played DeWalt before, so we won't get to see... Wait. Terra play then? I'm sure Terra played against DeWalt before. I guess he didn't. Okay, I'm misremembering things. Oh no, it was Koga who played against DeWalt a few times earlier. Either way, Terra, a fantastic player. DeWalt, a fantastic player as well. Terra has actually won 19 games overall, and DeWalt has won 22. So you can't really get higher than that so far. They've played in most of their weeks for their teams as well. So let's introduce map number 4. It's going to be one of the ladder maps this season. It's Neo Medusa. Okay, so Neo Medusa, our map here, 3-player map of today. We've actually had 3 PBTs here so far. It's been 1-2 in favor of Terran. DeWalt took down Gyro. That was a really weird game. Gyro went for a behind the minerals BBS, and well, 8 racks even, and we saw Threes take down Narsil and Flash for Bull take down Grass. So the Terrans have had pretty one-sided games, I would say. In fact, all of the games TVP here have been actually pretty one-sided. So hopefully we'll see a good game here. It's DeWalt versus Terra. What else is there to say as we get into game number 4? Okay, starting us off here in the top left-hand position, we do have the blue Terran even fighting for NaS. It's Terra. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom middle position. We do have the teal Protoss fighting for iRk. It's DeWalt. Now, DeWalt and Terra, 2 of the greatest foreign players at the moment. Just an incredible set of players here. I'm actually just trying to write out a tweet as I do this. Yeah, this was a bad idea to do this after it started, but you know what? Let's do it, because we are clever. It's great when I'm doing all the production by myself because I can't get away with this stuff, but let's see what build Terra's going to go for. He is going to go for a wall in here. Very, very strong on this map. We do obviously have a barracks and depot wall, which makes this a very, very good map to wall in for Terran because you don't have to worry too much. In terms of what's going on back here, DeWalt is going to likely be going into Gate Gas Core. Very, very standard build for him. He doesn't often go for Mass Zealot. It's kind of not his style. It's more Bonith's remit to kind of go for something like that, but... that always makes things a little bit more interesting, because when you see Bonith go for these massively super aggressive styles, and DeWalt is kind of like the polar opposite to Bonith, I think. Like, DeWalt's PvZ is exceptional, whereas Bonith's PvT is exceptional. Now, the one thing I do have to say is I am actually upset that we've got blue versus teal, and it's on a Twilight map. This is quite possibly the worst minimap colors for trying to see everything that's going on. But I mean, DeWalt versus Terra, two of arguably the aces for their team. Obviously, NaS have Eon Zerg as well, but DeWalt is like the ultimate ace player for iRk. Like, if ever they have an ace match, DeWalt's always there, because who else are you going to send? Would you send one of the top 2, top 3 foreign players of possibly the last 3 years? Or do you send someone else? You send Terra. Oh, sorry, you send DeWalt. Obviously, this is a very important match. NaS are currently up 2-1. So if iRk want to take it to the ace match, DeWalt is going to have to take down Terra. And if you don't know, this is the most important match for both of these teams, because both of them need this match win to qualify first in their team for the round 4 playoffs, and that's a huge benefit. Obviously, the first teams play against the second team, so it means whoever is going to win this game is going to avoid Seoul in the semi-finals, which is something that both of them are going to want to do. Now, unfortunately, this SCV's life is going to end by this temple. You can't skip through those or anything without a couple of units, and you need it from the other side. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Terra is obviously up against a little bit of a wall here. Now, Terra's old style back a few years ago was he would just go 6-fact every game. Now, Terra's evolved since then. Terra, if you watch his stream, he's actually got a really interesting stream, so do check it out. He listens to some really cool Peruvian music, which is really, really cool to listen to. Like, it's got a really cool beat, and he's also very, very interactive. He uses a camera now, if I remember correctly. He's got a microphone. He speaks relatively good English. DeWalt also speaks good English as well. He's got a great stream too. So out of all like the NaS and iRk players, I'd say these two probably have the most active streams as well, other than Eon Zerg, of course. Eon Zerg is always streaming. But DeWalt did move out to Korea for a few months. He's just got back, but I think he's going to be moving, or not moving back there, but I think he's going to be traveling back there for the ASL qualifiers. So, and yeah, Terra does explain a lot of the stuff he's doing on stream. And I think DeWalt's time in Korea has really helped him. Like, DeWalt has come on leaps and bounds. Now, Terra does need to be careful. This is the one problem with walling in. You are going siege expand, so you're not too worried about that, but we do have an expansion coming up. This is going to be a starport. Now, unfortunately for Terra, this starport is misplaced, so the starport's not going to be able to build a control tower, which is what you really want to go for in a TVP. Now, obviously, he could just be trying to stop any position... possible Reaver openings, because obviously Wraith's pretty good against shuttles. But yeah, Terra is going to be a little bit disappointed to see that he can't control tower here. I'd like to see where he's going to move this to as well. Oh, he's actually just going to go straight into a Wraith. So he's worried about obviously shuttles coming in, worried about Reavers. He's actually going for a blind engineering bay. Now, part of that is because he doesn't know what's going on. Now, the engineering bay isn't super early, so it's not super blind. You kind of do want to get turrets eventually. But realistically, you want to go for the Academy first, and that's something that Terra hasn't opted to do. So Terra's going to be a little bit worried. He's going to be a little bit in the dark. He's obviously going to be adding on some buildings over here, going to add a supply depot, just to help kind of Scout not only for these temples being shot, because you do hear it if it's within vision, you also can tell if it's going to be taken down pretty quickly and tell what's shooting it and everything. So really important to do. DeWalt not opting to go for a third base as of yet. Not actually opting to go for any tech just yet either. So we're going to see if an observatory at the front going to help wall in against any possible vultures. Speed is just finished, so good timing on this wall in. The probe does go down. The command center, oh wait, yeah, of course he's taken the back command center. So Terra, of course, in a good position. Obviously he doesn't have the second gas, which is going to be kind of annoying, but he's not gone into mass factory as of yet. He should probably add on a couple of factories fairly soon. If he doesn't, he's going to be in a bit of trouble. But looks like he wants to go in for a quick third base. And this is actually a really clever build. And here we go, looks like we do have a Citadel coming in for DeWalt, so he's going to be going for Fast Arbiter by the looks of it, off of these two bases. Obviously you do have the option to go Gateway Man off of Templar, but it's not as common in the foreign scene. Now we do have an Observer coming up here, no shuttle going to be coming in, but Terra could actually notice that shimmer. Now we do have the Wraith here, just trying to be as annoying as possible with this turret. Oh, the turret actually going to get a view on that Observer for just a second. But unfortunately Terra's not going to be really able to do anything. Now, he is playing a little bit overly defensively, but when you're going for a quick third base like this, it's kind of necessary from Terra's perspective. Now, DeWalt is going to just about see that starport's up there, so really nice scouting by him. Just checking everything that's going on. Second Observer going to be going in to check if there's a third base. And I think DeWalt is actually going to be a little bit disappointed that there's a third base here, because this is such a good map to defend against really early recall. And I mean, we've got Arbiter coming in, so as long as Terra just defends his base, he's going to be in a really good position. Academy and Armory coming in at the same time, going to allow him to go for those scans, go for those upgrades. And finally, we're starting to see the factory flood come in here for Terra. This is kind of like the important next stage in the game for him. You can only stay on one factory for so long. Oh, that mine actually does connect, so really nice usage of those mines by Terra. Oh, that's a bit better. DeWalt does manage to take down that mine, but Terra is doing a really good job. Actually, if you actually have a look at his map vision, he's got map vision comparable to what DeWalt can see, and I mean, Terra has been sort of turtling back here. Now, another mine nearly goes off. That would have killed that Dragoon, so really good pick off there by DeWalt. It looks like oh wow, he gets the probe. That is so sick. I can't believe I just missed that, but getting the probe here is really cool. Walt, in the meantime, is going in for his Arbiter upgrades. He's probably going to go for Stasis first, then he'll go into Recall behind it. Arbiter's obviously a very strong play. We do have DeWalt going for this expansion. Now, I know TT1 is saying he's not understanding what Terra is doing, but all Terra has to do against two base Arbiter here is defend. Like, realistically, he's going to have his double gas, he's going to have a lot of factories, he's probably going to go up to 9 fact on these 3 bases, he's going to be building a lot of vultures, a lot of tanks, and it's going to be up to DeWalt to do something about it, because DeWalt hasn't done any harassment damage, he hasn't done any damage at all, there's been no shuttle. He's going to be relying entirely on Stasis and Recall to try and deal with that eventual like 2-0-2-1 push. We do have that science facility coming in, so he's going to go straight into +2 attack after +1. But you can just see exactly what Terra's doing. He's just mass defending because he knows that he's in a good spot. He scouted every other base on the map. He knows there's no third base yet. The scan's starting to go down. This 4th base is going to come up with a 5th base. So this is going to be kind of the big problem for Terra, because obviously when you're sat back like this, mass defending against Arbiters, you're not pushing out, you're not denying expansions. Now, he does have a lot of Zealots. He's playing in a way similar to how Fancy used to play, just kind of sit back, send Zealots out all over the place, put a lot of mines down, and just try and expand slowly but surely, much like how Uv used to play as well in his TVPs. Now, he's adding on a lot of mines into the same place. Unfortunately, unable to get the mass mine, but good push in by DeWalt. Going to kind of clear out these mines, make it a little bit more annoying. Obviously, this takes a lot more APM to do as Terra than it does as Protoss, because you're kind of just moving your way through them. But it delays the Protoss push. He obviously gets to tell exactly where the units are. Now, he's not going to be able to do any harassment damage. A nice scan going down. Where did that scan go down, actually? I think he just scanned the army. But looks like we do have... Stasis is done. The first Arbiter is out. Yeah, I kind of see where you're coming from, but he is getting a relatively okay timing on his +2. And if he defends behind this bridge, he doesn't actually need a huge army out of his base. So I personally think that Terra's in a relatively good spot. He's going to be able to macro up fairly quickly. +1 is done for DeWalt though. If we actually have a look back at the base, no recall is coming. Well, recall finally now just coming in. But it looks like we are going to have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 gateways here for DeWalt. Third base up. Fourth base up as well. Fifth base just about, well, about halfway done. Nothing is finishing up just yet, but Terra is not really attackable. We've got good mines all over the place. He actually needs to mine this part of his base, otherwise things could get a little bit hairy. He is obviously turtling back super hard. His upgrades are delayed compared to normal, but he's going to be getting his EMP in. He does have 8 factories now, so he's pumping out a lot of those vultures, a lot of those tanks. And he is going to have a big strong force when he pushes forward, so... Let's see exactly what's going to happen here. Now, DeWalt only really has Dragoons, so this isn't exactly the best army composition here by DeWalt. The Zealots going to be coming in. Now, obviously, DeWalt showed strong play against someone like Kanata, but Kanata did manage to beat him in games not too dissimilar to this, actually. Obviously, Kanata went for his upgrades a little bit quicker, but this is very reminiscent of that old fancy Anu style. Obviously, we don't see a drop or anything, which is like what really did make the difference in those games. So obviously you pull the Protoss apart with the dropship, but a good army by Terra. He's going up to max. His +2 attack about halfway done. He's got a lot of turrets coming in. He's still healthy at most of his bases. Obviously the big deal is when this happens. So DeWalt is going to be trying to take all the other bases on the map, and it's going to be up to Terra to make something happen. Now, obviously, while Terra has been building up his big max, so is DeWalt. And DeWalt's army, I would actually argue, is a little bit stronger at the moment. Without +2, he's going to be relying a lot on siege tanks, which a lot of them are just kind of running around. He's not really managing to gather all his units. He's got a lot of vultures, though. They're going to be sort of, I'm trying to think of the right word, but they're going to be soaking a lot of damage. Yeah, so goons are pretty good in this situation. Obviously, he does need a few more zealots though, because when the vultures do start falling, you really do want to get down. Now that's a nice stasis, a nice D-matrix, but kind of on one of the weird units. Here we go. Looks like we are going to have another Arbiter moving forward. Does manage to get all of the vulture, all of the zealots even on top of those tanks. The small tank count of Terra really hurting him here. A nice mine going down, and DeWalt getting a perfect engagement, moving forward with a lot of his units. Terra's supply is plummeting. DeWalt is still doing a great job. The Arbiter actually still alive at the back. And this is what TT1 was saying about this +2 attack, because without the +2 attack, and with this Vault heavy army, Terra didn't have enough mines out in front. Without the mines, the Dragoons were able to get on top of the tanks. The Stasis obviously doing a lot in the back. Well, I guess it was at the front actually. +2 was finally finished, but +2 for the Protoss as well. And this fourth base attempt, if DeWalt actually scouts this, that's going to go down immediately. And we still don't have any recall coming in or anything like that, but DeWalt is in such a good position that he doesn't necessarily need to recall. So Terra is going to have to go back to the Flash school of thinking of, well, I've lost my army, let's start back up again. So he's going to be building another 2 factories, going to be moving forward with some more vultures, see if he can get some extra damage on. He just kind of wants to delay the Protoss army. Oh my god, he actually recalled zealots on top of the units at the back. Very nice moves by DeWalt, clearing up the rest of Terra's army. It's 72 supply against 169. Terra kind of kicks GGing here, I've got to say. He's actually taken a long time to die. He is going to try and valiantly hold on. He knows that if his team loses this, we're going to the ace match. And I think that's exactly where we're going. The final 2 tanks going to be going down here at the back. DeWalt with an amazing amount of units, a huge amount of gateways. I mean, let's not worry about counting the gateways. Another couple of Arbiter's coming in here. They do have relatively low energy, but GG. Terra taps out. A good explosion in the end to kind of end this on, because that kind of explains this game. The Zealots just exploding everything. But there we go. So, we're going into the ace match, everyone. It's going to be pretty cool. I don't actually know who's being sent out, so I'm going to check that in just a second. So we'll be back, or I'll be back. I'm so used to saying we because Rapid's usually here. I'll be back when we get back. When I get back after this. See you guys in just a sec. Okay, so we're here in the ace match. I didn't announce who it was, I just found out. So a lot of people in chat, well, I say a lot of people, there's 2 people in chat think it's going to be, they think it's going to be DeWalt versus Eon. Well, I'm going to announce that one player is Zerg, and it is Eon Zerg. So let's actually have a look at his stats, and then we'll announce the second player after that. So I'll leave you guys guessing who his opponent is going to be as we introduce Eon Zerg. Eon Zerg, an absolute boss. He won his game today against him. That's not in the system yet. That'll be in after the game. And just overall, an incredible, incredible player. He's actually 4 for 2 against this race, if that makes things a little bit easier. Because his opponent is not DeWalt, which I'm actually surprised at. It's going to be Marwyn. So Marwyn and Eon Zerg actually have a lot of history. Both of them were on clan IFU for a very, very long time. Marwyn's TBZ is actually pretty strong. He knows Eon Zerg very, very well. And I think if there's one person for iRk to send out, this actually makes a lot of sense, because both of them have played with each other for so long that maybe Marwyn has something to say about this game. So we're going to be heading into the ace match map. It's going to be Holy World SE. Okay, so Holy Wild SE, I know TT1 is saying only he's stupid enough to PvZ here, but Zerg vs Protoss is actually 5 for 4. Now, TvZ is a little bit more one-sided. Terran are 1 for 4 against Zerg, Radley being the only Terran to actually take a game, and that was off of Eriador. Now, Eon Zerg hasn't played on this map so far, neither has Marwyn, so it's going to be cool to see how they're going to do. It is a 4-player map, but I just want to get into the game. I can't wait to see Eon Zerg versus Marwyn. It should be an absolutely fantastic set. So let's get into game number 5. It's the ace match. Okay, so spawning here in the bottom right-hand position, we do have, in the blue, fighting for NaS, it is iRk. And down here in the bottom left-hand position, we have his former teammate, now rivals. It's iRk's Marwin as the Orange Terran. Now, Marwin versus iRk, I am really excited to see this. Now, I know I've said before, if iRk thinks he can win early, he's going to go for an early win. So, you never know. Maybe this game could be over in 4 minutes. Maybe we see iRk go for a 9 pull and it ends quickly. I don't know. You can never tell. But maybe, just maybe, we'll go into an epic macro game with an infested command center. Come on. Let's make it happen. Gotta happen in a ZBT at some point. Eriador came close, he rushed Queens, but then Radley saw what was going on and killed it, so... And yeah, maybe in 6 minutes, the 6-minute curse, definitely a major player. Looks like iRk is actually going to be going up for a 12 hatchery, so very, very standard play by iRk, which is very, very surprising actually. Marwin is going in for a barracks. Let's see if he goes for gas or if he's just going to go for 1 Rax double. I guess it's just going to be 1 Rax double. So, I mean, 1 Rax fast expand against 12 hatchery. Is there anything more standard? Nope. Because there's a gas. Marwin is going to be going for a 1-1-1. Now, 1-1-1, a really sick opening. If you've got good control, you can actually pull apart your Zerg opponent with good usage of Vulture, Wraith early on. Or sometimes, even if you go for the fancy build, where you go for Valks, or even dropships. So let's see exactly how Marwin's going to play this. He's had a lot of experience playing with iRk in the past. I know that they used to play together quite a lot, practice together quite a lot as well. And let's see how well Marwin can use that against one of the best Zergs outside of Korea. We do have the gas coming up. He's pulled out of gas, so he's going to be going for a factory expand behind this. Now, Marwin could actually opt to go for like a 5-fact Goliath all in or something. That's not out of the picture. Obviously, both players are going to want to play relatively standard, but Marwin could, like, both players really want this win. If you've just tuned in for the previous 2 series, iRk and NaS are tied in matches, so whoever wins this will get out of their group in first, and they will avoid Seoul in the semi-final in the round 4 playoffs. So this is very, very important. This is quite possibly the most important single game for both of these teams in round 4 even. We're not in round 5. There is no round 5 in Season 1, so that's fine. But Marwin doing a good job keeping his STB alive. The first couple of lings have only just now popped out though, so the real story is still to come. Still no 3rd hatchery here for iRk, no hidden 3rd behind any minerals or anything like that. And thank you. I'm glad I beat Doc, but honestly we're going to play again tomorrow. And I'm not too sure about my my hopes. Now, we do have a single sunken colony up here. iRk has fished out that something funny is going on. He is going to be going up against vultures with speed. Now, speed vultures are very powerful in TVZ because if iRk doesn't block his ramp, this sunken is not going to kill those vultures. Speed vultures, you go up to 3 of them. And then you push forward. There is going to be a starport after this, so he's not going to go for 5 Goliath all in. But look at this. There's the link. Speed is done. Let's see how the micro is for Marwin. This is going to be a very, very important moment in this game. Speed not quite yet finished. iRk getting a good surround, taking out that first vulture is absolutely massive. Now, Marwin hasn't shown off speed yet. So that's going to be a big, big important moment. But iRk's micro, what the heck are we watching, guys? iRk is the king of taking down vultures, it would seem. Another vulture goes down, and this is the moment where 1-1-1 suddenly becomes no, 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 because you don't have any units. He's going to have iRk lings in his base. Speed has been shown off now. The element of surprise is gone, and he's got no Well, he's got no mines. How is he going to deal with all of these units? Mines are actually going to be a detriment now. Looks like we are going to have the Lings moving forward, trying to get the Vultures as they pop up the ramp. This is going to be very, very difficult for Marwyn to try and micro here. Now, he's doing a really, really good job of it so far. Really, really impressed by this. There's actually going to be an Engineering Bay coming up here. One of the Vultures nearly going down. Really finding it hard to get those hits off. Lings in the mineral line. 3 Vultures are finally out, but one of the Vultures very low. One does go down, and another Vulture going to go down, possibly. Eon Zerg with his micro is doing an incredible job, and things are just getting out of hand for Marwyn. I thought Marwyn had a shot here, but the 6-minute curse could be alive and well, as the Engineering Bay making SCV is going to go down. Another Vulture is going to go down. If he builds, or if he puts down mines anywhere near his mineral line, things are just going to get very, very dirty. Now, back at home, we've got the second gas coming in. We have the Spire done for Eon Zerg as well. And this is going to be a matter of time here before these Muteless manage to make their way over to the base. And this is quite possibly going to be the death knell. We do have a Wraith coming forward. Gonna see if he can take down some of these units, but unfortunately he's going to be up against up against Scourge, and Wraiths will eventually go down. Oh, great connections there by Eon Zerg, getting the very corner of the hitbox. There's no turrets up here in the main. And I think the 6-minute curse is alive and well for this final game, as NaS are going to win this game. They're going to win the match, and they're going to take themselves into the playoffs in first place position in Group A. A greatly played game by Eon Zerg. If anything, I think the Vulture speed actually hurt more than it helped. I play Terran a lot, obviously. Obviously, I'm not the best Terran, but I do like to try and play pretty well, even though I can't. And the thing is, Vulture speed, when you're using speed Vultures, it becomes really, really hard to micro. Like, I don't know why. Like, you watch pros and they make it look so easy, but when you're doing it against speedlings, you have more chance of running back into the Lings, which just makes you take extra damage. And that's what really happened in that game. So, a really great win there by Eon Zerg. That's obviously going to take us into our second series, but first, let's go through the results. And let's have a look how the series played out. We're going to just add the win to NaS. A great series overall. We had some really, really close games, but obviously all good things must come to an end. We did see Dragon take down Jerry in game number 1 with an amazing comeback. For all intents and purposes, that could have, it could have ended the series if that game had gone differently. Norgrim did a great job over Sugo on Neo Chain Reaction. Tim did a valiant effort, had a valiant effort, but unfortunately did get taken down by the might of Eon Zerg. DeWalt took down Terra, and then Eon Zerg with the victory to finish off the series to give NaS the final victory of their career in round 4. To take, well, not necessarily because the round 4 playoffs, in the round 4 group stages, I should say. I don't want to jinx them going into the thing, but that's going to be the end of series number 1, guys. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break just to give my voice a little bit of a rest, so I'm going to get a drink as well and set up the second series on the overlay. So I will see you guys in just over 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. The next series to come up is going to be FBW versus VT. You won't want to miss it. See you guys very soon.